Okay, I went to a movie that I suggested that we all review, but you guys didn't want to drive to see it, apparently. It is the new French movie about food called The Taste of Things. And it is a movie with everybody's favorite French actress, Juliette Binoche. And her co-star in it is an actor named Benoit Megamel. And apparently in real life, they were a thing for a while. And this movie is about their kind of romantic relationship. The movie takes place at the end of the 19th century in France, where Benoit, who plays a character named Dodin, is this. I'm not sure exactly what he is. He's in some formation in the aristocracy. He has a big house, and his big thing is cooking. I don't think he's necessarily a professional chef. He's what they call a gourmet, who's someone who is intrigued and in love with food. Perhaps in the 19th century, he might have done an almost sideways like podcast about food. That is his level of interest and commitment to it. And Juliette Binoche is his sometimes lover, but most of the time his chef. And at the beginning of the movie, the first 20 minutes of the movie is just them preparing this stupendous multi-course meal for this cadre of other French aristocrats who come in. They kind of feel like they're out of a French 70s movie, like Philippe Noiret should be one of them, like Le Grand Bouffe or Salo. You know, they feel like this group of old French guys that come in and eat a bunch of food. The movie is kind of about how, well, you know what? I guess I can't fully answer that question. I still don't really know what the movie is about, except to say that it's 2 hours and 15 minutes. And a lot of that time is spent showing Juliette Binoche and Benoit making food. And when my wife and I went to the theater, they told us don't go in on an empty stomach, which I'm sure is a tagline they love to promote. This is a movie that is getting really great reviews, and it has like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. I gotta say, I was kind of bored by it. I hate to say it. I love French movies. I love Juliette Binoche. I love pretentious bullshit. But you know what? This movie doesn't have much of a plot. Like I said, I can't tell you what it's about. There's scenes where people eat. There's scenes where people talk a little bit, philosophize a little bit about food. It's a French movie. There is, I guess, another group that comes in and prepares a meal. I also gotta say the food didn't look all that great. I mean, even my wife kind of said that the same thing. The end of this movie, I mean, it's about this love affair that they have that's more about their mutual passion for food than each other. I gotta say, I think the main character is a little bit of a douchebag. I mean, he basically hires this woman to cook for him, and he passes it off as his own food. And then at the end of the movie, there's this sort of this gap that he has to fill. You know, the movie certainly looks sumptuous, like every critic loves to say. The director of the movie is named let me pull it up. Anh Hung Tran, who made a movie called The Scent of Green Papaya about 25 years ago. And I actually reviewed that movie as one of the movies for our podcast a little while ago. That movie was kind of similar. It was about a servant girl who lived, I believe, in Vietnam and basically prepared food for all these rich people. And that was an interesting kind of point of view of this character who's in a lower social class. This movie is like blissfully unaware of social class. It's unaware that these people are all aristocratic douchebags who don't have to work for a living. And so there's no drama in the movie. There's no drama about the labor that has to go into the cultivation of the plants or anything like that. So on that level, again, the movie's very skin deep. It's endless. I fell asleep several times at it. Again, I hate to be a hater, but man, it was annoying how many people love this movie, and it was annoying how many 70-year-old white people in the theater also loved it. I'm giving it a very, very generous 2 stars. I mean, it's the kind of movie that like Miramax would have put out in the mid-90s, and I bet if I was more in that kind of mindset, I would have liked it. But to me, this is a movie that is being really, really overhyped. And I just, I guess, you know, they hate to use the lame pun, but it doesn't have any meat to it. Like the movie is really, really empty and kind of superficial. So you guys might like it. I know Terry sometimes likes historical dramas too, but for me, this movie needed quite a bit more juice in it. It needed the Dardennes to make it, especially. But yeah, a reluctant 2 stars.
I almost saw this movie over the weekend. It was going to be the second part of my double feature on Friday night. However, I knew a little bit of what you were saying going into it, of how there's not much of a plot. It's just watching people make food for 2 hours. And I was like, I am way too exhausted to make it through that. Like I even had already
Yeah.
gotten my ticket. Like I'm going home. It's not worth
And,
it's not worth falling asleep during it.
and I'm the guy that loves Jacques Rivette, showing a guy painting a woman for 4 hours. I mean, normally I'm into that shit. But I think the problem with this movie is that it is way more interested in the food than the actual characters. Like even in La Belle and Oiseuse, it's about the hostility and tension between the artist and the subject. In this movie, it's just about, okay, let's make some beautiful food. And I think that wowed the crowd enough for everybody to love it. And that's a lame reason to like a movie. So again, I'm lame. I know, but I think there's probably some critics in that 98% that are kind of like, yeah, there's not that much to this movie.
Now, would this be a favorite movie of one college friend of ours, Joshua Traxel? That's
Well,
all. That's one of the.
his famous refrain was "Food is love,"
Yeah.
and
Wasn't
no,
it Feast of Love?
Feast of Love. Yeah, that was the poster
That was
he had in the apartment.
Oh. No, you're talking about something different.
I don't know what we're talking about.